Okay, in your last segment, you was talking about your daughter had a guardian ad litem, okay, and in San Diego, but yet she's physically with you in Georgia. First of all, what is your understanding of a guardian ad litem?
Well, they're supposed to speak for you in court, and they're supposed to help you when you need things, and
basically they're your guardian. That's why it's called a guardian ad litem. So they're supposed to make sure, if they don't have your physically custody, they can, they do, but they have your legal custody. And sometimes they have your physical custody, but obviously you have the physical custody of your daughter because you physically have her in your town with your family in general,
they're
right?
supposed to meet your needs.
So, does anybody call and make sure that she's fed in Georgia from San Diego?
I've called the guardian ad litem. I don't know how many times he won't answer. He won't call back.
Okay. So nobody's articulated this inside information for her to the courts. I mean, they don't even let her talk. But yet, in fact, they were saying their first language wasn't English. It's a couple of courts, they were want to know, does she even speak English? Okay, they don't even know if she speaks English. How do they know she's crazy? How do they know anything? They just write her off as crazy, don't let her talk. Nobody won't listen to her because she's being crazy. So all this inside information has been on the download. That's a doozy, dude. So you consider that fraud? The fact that the guardian ad litem and the lawyers and all this are getting these APS fundings for guardian ad litem and all these courts, but yet she's not even in California.
And another thing, I've put in an ICPC package. Try to get the boys here. I want custody of the boys. My ex-husband's trying to get custody of the boys. We're just trying to get them to Georgia because we're 3,000 miles from them. They have nobody out there, and they refuse everybody. They don't want us to have the boys because they're special needs, and special needs kids, they get about $3,000 a day per child for all the drugs they do, just everything.
So basically, everybody just went to town on your special needs daughter, right? Just took advantage of her. I mean, the government, and your grandchildren. Because your grandchildren are being taken advantage of now. They're being used as pawns to make all this money in this fraudulent scheme by juvenile court. But basically, you feel like your daughter and your grandchildren have just been a victim of the vultures because she ran away from home. She was too busy looking what she was running from, not looking to what she's running to, and she just had victimizer after victimizer take advantage of them. And because of this, your daughter has a lot of information that America needs to listen to, but nobody's listening to. In fact, she ended up with a, I guess you would say a militia, homegrown terrorist group by the name of Truth Brigade. And our next part will go into that one, okay, where she actually starts going to these activists to try to get help because she knows that they're outspoken against illegal aliens getting favoritism in America over Americans. But instead of running for help, she runs into a homegrown terrorist group by the name of Truth Brigade. So please stay continued to the next part where we talk about her living with homegrown terrorists. Boy, your daughter just ran to all the bad boys, didn't she?
Well, she was kind of naive and had persuasive development. And now then that she's grown up, she realizes what all it was, and now then she realizes how bad everything was, but now that it's such a mess, we don't know how to fix it.
Well, explain what persuasive developmental delays are.
It just means that you're slow at maturing, and you're older. She was probably about 21, 22 before she actually became an adult.
So you're saying that it took your daughter, like when she was with Sheikh Mohammed and the Youssefs, she was about 17, but she's probably only about 10 years old. And then
well, not 10, maybe about 13.
About 13. And then when she was with her husband, from the time she was like 18 till like, well, to here recently, she was more like a teenager, a very immature. So she's starting to mature. Now that she's been away from all these bad boys, do you see her maturing a lot faster?
Yeah, and away from the abusive husband. He beat her and stomped her and drug her and I mean, he really abused her a lot, and I don't think she wants to go back to that.
Okay, so if anybody wants to look up persuasive developmental delays, and you can get a better picture. And our next one, we'll be talking about her living with a homegrown terrorist.